All right, here we go. We're live. Phil J, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Hey, brother, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing well, my man. How are you?
I'm awesome. I'm awesome. So stoked to have you with me. Thanks so much for being here. Just before we jump into it, let me kind of set the tone here a little bit. Thanks everybody for joining us here for Real Live Talk. This is just episode 7 at this point, and so thanks so much for checking this out. I'm here today with Phil J. Phil J is a Billboard charting artist, songwriter, and producer. He excels in the genres of rap and hip hop. This guy can sing, rap, write, mix. He's a beast on the drums. I don't know, you probably play pretty much every other instrument as well at this point. Just always just growing and increasing in what you do, man. It's so awesome. He also loves Jesus. He loves people. You can find him on Instagram at I am Phil J. You can also check out his website, philjmusic.com. Check out his music on Spotify. And bro, I've known you for more than a decade at least
Yeah,
at this
a
point.
very long time.
Yeah, man, it's been a long time. I'm so proud of you, how you've grown as a man of God and as an artist, and just pumped for you for the success that you're having in your field at this point, man. And so I'm
Appreciate it.
excited to be talking to you today. Thanks for being here.
Hey, it's always a pleasure, my man.
Awesome. So I remember the days when like we'd be hanging out in the house or at the church or whatever. You'd be practicing on the drums and stuff like that. I remember specifically days like when you'd be like trying to figure out certain rhythms and different things going on. I remember those days when we were praying with you, believing God for recording equipment and stuff like that, because you were just like at the beginning. And to see you from then, to know you back then, and to see where you are at this point, and how you never quit, you never stopped, you just always just pursuing excellence in what you do and what you're passionate about. It's just it's awesome. I think that you're an inspiration in that way, someone that I look up to in that way. And so if you could just maybe share with us, for some people that may not know who you are or may not be super familiar with you, just tell us a little bit about your journey and kind of what's gone into it to kind of get you to where you are today. I know that's a loaded question, by the way.
Yeah.
So, but
Oh no,
wherever that takes you, yeah, man,
I
we'll
got
go for it.
you. Yeah. Well, this all started. Well, the passion for wanting to be a recording artist, as far as like my occupation, that didn't start becoming a reality, or actually me trying to make it become a reality until like 2013. But me and my brother were always writing songs together and stuff. So like that's kind of where it started. So from it started from us having these really these really cheap pianos that my dad would get us,
Yeah.
just as a starting point. It's like, hey, you can make things, you can actually make little beats on here, make some beats on it. All right,
Yeah,
cool.
man.
So it was like, all right, hey, we gonna make it work. So we started off on that, and then it's like each year we like upgraded to something better. So it's like the next year, the church got this new keyboard, and like this is back when floppy disks were a thing, where you had to actually use
Wow. Yeah.
a floppy disk. That just proves I'm getting old, man.
Dude, I'm from
So
the days with like the big floppy disks. Like not those little ones that were hard. Like did you ever have experience with those ones that they
no,
were like twice the size and they were really thin, like flimsy, you could bend them?
no, I've never had
Yeah,
those.
that's what I had when I was a kid. So anyway, just keep going.
So uh, we had to use floppy disks to save um, the beats we made on that piano, and so but that was like we had we had so much going on in our head, and at the time, and at each moment in each season, it was something like where it was like we were getting better at that. Well, I guess getting better using uh, each piece of equipment
Yeah.
that we own, and like we just kept getting better. Like, we need something else to kind of actually. It has so it's, there was so much in our brains. It's like we're limited. We need like something,
Yeah.
and so my brother learned how to use FL Studio, which was like that just opened up a whole new world. Like
Okay.
that's when um, this dream of becoming an artist kind of started really. I really wanted it because I'm like I have a way to actually like put these ideas I have in my head onto something where I can hear it forever. You know, so
Yeah, man.
so I learned, so pretty much learned how to use that. My brother taught me how to use that, and then that's when, and once 2013 hit, I started like actually pursuing it, and I was like, because like it all started from like when I went to this camp, this youth camp, my senior year in high school, and we was going there not expecting to get much from it or like, and also at that time, and I was kind of secretly rebellious and like didn't want to really be fooled with that. I'm like, it's my senior
Yeah.
year. I'm just
Yeah.
trying to do what your boy got to do. You know,
Yeah, man.
that was my mindset at the time. But after going to this camp and meeting Jesus, and also at the time of meeting Jesus, a guy named Fidel was there doing a show, and I was like, okay, this is dope. We're seeing a Christian rapper, actually like kill it. I was like, oh, this you can do this. I was like, actually, because I love hip hop music. I mean, actually, I love all types of music. So like, just but seeing hip hop being used for the glory of God in an attractive way, it was like,
Yeah. Yeah, let me pause for a second. Did you ever struggle with cuz like clearly you're a very creative person. You have a lot of, creativity, different things. You're even talking about how in those early years kind of like with on that cheap equipment and just kind of doing what you can and getting to the limits of it and knowing that there was more inside your mind, inside your brain that you wanted to create and compose and just all these different things. Did you ever struggle with like feeling that you had to fit into a certain area of the market, like a certain genre, but there was like more inside of you that you wanted to bring out? Because I asked that question because I feel like um, a lot of people that are creative, they sort of struggle with this thing because they're good at so many things, like, or they have so many things that they're passionate about, and yet they feel like that can almost become a limitation for some people, where for you I see that as more of a strength. So where you've learned to harness that into strength, where you're like, I don't just do this kind of music because it's what people expect me to do. I do this and I do this and I like to do this and I like to infuse this. I know we can maybe get into a little bit about your influences and stuff like that too, but not being like limited by the different things that you're passionate about, but allowing those things to kind of come together in a fusion of, all right, we're going to put something out, and it might not always sound like exactly the same, but the point is that it's me, and I'm just here to create. Do,
yeah,
do you understand what I'm asking you?
I do, yeah,
Is
yeah.
that something that was maybe an issue in your mind at the beginning, or did you always kind of feel that freedom to flow where you wanted to?
Yeah. So when I first started, yes, I was mainly I'm just gonna do strictly hip hop music. I'm just gonna rap.
Hmm.
Because like that's the market that I started in. So it's like I kind of want to cater to the listeners who found out about me just by doing rap music all the time. It's I mean that's what they know me by.
Right.
But like me knowing how much I love like all types of music, all types of genres of music, and like it wasn't until 2017, like 2013, all through 2016. It was just strictly rap, and then I would have these records that never come out because I'm like, that's not a rap song. So like,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
so yeah, and,
Yeah.
and I knew if I like started like really like I was nervous to like show my current listeners like this is what I actually love doing. I only do this right here because that's what you know me by
Yeah.
or know me for. And in 2017, I was like, you know what? Let's just try it. Let's just try it and see. Let's just see how people will respond to it. And actually, I'm glad I did that because people love me, people love the music more because like that's what I love creating, and it's different. You don't hear many people in the Christian hip hop space or the Christian music industry or the Christian music industry like doing blends of like genres and yeah. So
Yeah,
I
man.
had to answer the question.
Yeah. No, that's great. Yeah, I had a feeling like I've seen that be an issue. Even with me too. It was an issue with just feeling like, okay, like I know I'm supposed to be in ministry, but does that mean I'm just like I have to be a pastor and I have to focus on this? And it made me hesitant to because I there was a lot of stuff that I wanted to do and I didn't want to get trapped in that area.
Mhm.
And I feel like a lot of people struggle with that. A lot of people feel like they don't want to move on one thing
Mhm.
because they feel like they might miss out on some of the other things. And so some people, rather than just begin to execute on what they're passionate about, they'll actually hold back because, again, they don't want to get stuck in that thing. And I always tell people, look, like, you can be into all kinds of different things. You can be passionate about different things, whether it's music or whether it's some other art form, or if it's like in the business world or in ministry or whatever it is. Like, the point is just start moving, right? The point is like just start taking steps in that direction, and then you'll find out. You'll discover which of your passions are really going to be the things that drive you forward. You might start going down one road thinking that it's going to be your life, and then you find out, oh, hold on, like this isn't actually what I thought it was going to be. And so then you know what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
but yeah, so I just think that it's huge. Again, I think that you're such a good example of this, of not allowing um, that or anything else either to kind of be like a hindrance to you and to hold you back,
Mhm.
but just going after your dream, pursuing what you're passionate about. Um,
And I want to add, like, and as a believer, it's usually like the Holy Spirit is usually things we don't like. We know we're supposed to be doing it. We know we're supposed to be doing it because it's like it keeps coming. But I don't know if I'm. But it's what we're passionate about the most.
yeah,
And then like it's like if you take this step, like just do this, and you'll see something happen. It's like, it's just always that being nervous. Is like, is this really what you're calling me to do, God? Like, is this real? I mean, okay, all right, and just seeing all the fruits of your labor just being like it just it's mind blowing sometimes. When we actually just do what God's called us to do, and then see all the amazing things that happen when we actually like uh, you know do what He's called us to do.
yeah, man, I love it. I love it. So uh, can I talk about this? I want to ask you. You are currently nominated for a Stellar Award, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, brother. Tell us about that. Well, first of all, tell us, for anyone who maybe doesn't know, what a Stellar Award is,
Okay.
and what category you're nominated in, and all that. Yeah.
So pretty much the Stellar Awards are the gospel version of the Dove Awards. So pretty much it's still a big deal.
Yeah.
Um, and when I actually think about it, as it like I remember when I first started doing music, I would always look at Stellar Awards and Dove Awards and like, man, I can't wait to actually like be a part of that in some way, form, or fashion.
Yeah, man.
And it's it's crazy because like pretty much I got the nomination because I was featured on an artist named Flame. His album got nominated for best gospel rap album.
Awesome.
But since I wrote on it and I also sang on it, I was also nominated because I was a part of it. But the crazy thing
Awesome.
is, I'm like when I first started doing music, Flame, like dude, my freaking idol. I was like, this dude's hard. And he was up there with the Craig and everything. I'm like,
Yeah,
man,
man.
he's gonna be a legend in the in the Christian hip hop community. He's just like that's like you're
Yeah.
gonna know who Flame is if you know Christian hip hop.
Yeah, for sure.
So like he's a pioneer.
There
That's
you
the
go. Good word.
there you go. I was trying to find the word the whole time. I got it. He's a pioneer in our space, and uh, to be on an album with him, it blows my mind to this day. To have his phone number, to talk to the guy that helped inspire me with how I started doing music in the first place.
Yeah, so cool.
It's just amazing, man.
That's
So
awesome.
God is good, bro. I'm grateful.
That's awesome, man. So it was the album was nominated
Yeah.
for. Is it best gospel hip hop album, or what's the official? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Awesome. And that's in the month of July sometime, right? That the Devil Awards, excuse me, that the Stellar Awards actually take place. And is that something that people can it is that something that people forgive my ignorance, is that something that people can vote on, or is it more just like something there's a academy that kind of decides?
It's a like an academy type
It's the organization
yeah,
basically,
organization. Like
yeah.
I think record labels can vote, and I'm still doing some homework and all that, but
Yeah.
pretty much
No, you're good.
us common folk
That's
can't
common folk.
can't vote. So yeah, but but we'll see. It'll be the first award show that I go to that I'm actually like can actually be like walking on stage and getting
Yeah,
so
man.
it's
That's
cool.
so cool. That's exciting. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Where are those taking place?
Nashville.
Nashville. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That's awesome, bro. Well, congratulations. I'm
Appreciate
super
it,
I'm
buddy.
super pumped for you. It's
Thank
so
you.
cool. So let's talk. Can we get into just maybe a little bit of the behind the scenes with Phil J? A little bit about your music, your style, what kind of goes into. If you want to take this wherever you want, wherever it makes sense to you. If you want to talk a little bit about what's influenced your style of music and stuff like that, and yeah, just a little bit about your style and what kind of music you like to create.
Cool. So if there's an artist that man, like, I'm surprised he's not a well known. Well, he's pretty well known, but like he's not like a superstar. But dude's a genius. I found out about this guy named John Bellion
Mm-hmm.
in 2016.
Yeah, man.
Um, and I was in that season of like of my I was in a season of my musical career where I was like, okay, should I keep doing hip hop, or like actually like venture out and do the things I really want to do? So pretty much once I found John Bellion, he has all these videos on all these videos on YouTube of him creating the song and beat from scratch, writing it, like just pretty much like showing his whole creative process. And I was just sitting there in awe of like, this dude's awesome. Wait, but like he's making hip hop, he's making pop, he's making country, he's making like he's doing all this and it sounds good, and like, and this is stuff I want to do. So
Yeah.
actually seeing someone do it, I was like, okay, I can do this. So pretty much from the end of 2016 until now, pretty much I've been creating in a very free state of mind where it's like I don't care what comes out. It's gonna. I'm praying and hoping it's good. And but like and obviously I think it's pretty going pretty good because people actually like listening to the things I make.
Yeah,
So,
man.
but like uh, I go into all my creative processes just like just I, I want to like pretty much like, the goal of an artist should always be putting themselves into what they create. Like your art is a part of you.
Yeah, man.
It's your way of expressing things. And so I'm a very I pride myself on really being a joyful person. Just like just I I choose I want to be an example of what joy is, and me wanting to be that example, it just spills over into all everything I create. So that's why everything sounds so happy all the freaking time. It's like, and to get messages and DMs from fans saying like this, like my music brings them joy, and it's like the very thing I go in to every session wanting to accomplish is I want people when people hear the music I create, I want them to experience joy.
Yeah.
But more importantly, more importantly, you can experience that joy if you experience Christ. You know, so like it's pretty much just giving them like a groovy tune with Jesus at the center. It's like it's the perfect formula for like just joy to be received when you hear the music I create. I hope that
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, man. I was gonna say like because you definitely have a unique sound, even when you play with different genres and styles. there's always like your music's always going to be soulful. It's going to be kind of like funky. It's going to have like it's going to be upbeat. It's going to be even when you do like the more serious stuff, there's it's just fun. Like you put this sort of fun spin on everything that you do. And again, like even when you're taking on something that's a little bit more, because I don't want this to come across like it's goofy. It's not. That's not that at all. You'll take serious, stances in what you do, and you'll talk about serious stuff. You'll talk about real stuff. One of my favorite things is like just being real and being authentic in your music. You know what I mean? And that definitely comes out of you. But there's this sort of like just fun, sort of like sometimes playful kind of a thing that comes out in your music that really does allow people to just experience it and feel good and have a good time. And I think that because I know you and I know the kind of person you are, and you and Marcus and Sharon, like you already know where I'm going, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm assuming that comes from just your personality of who you are. Would you say that that's accurate, or is
Very accurate.
there intentionality behind it, or does it just kind of happen because it's who you are? Is it both?
It just happens because this is who I am. Like I don't know. I mean, and like you said, anyone that knows me personally, like I'm just a goofy individual, and I just like I don't know. As like I so desire to be the light in the dark. It's like man, like I'm like it would be weird if I just wasn't goofy. It'd be weird. But yeah,
I have lots of pictures in my mind of you like rolling around on the ground laughing and all this kind of stuff. And it's funny because okay, so we used to spend, more time together, going back 8 years, 10 years. Like we used to be together in the same room like more than we are now. But it's interesting because back then, so 10 years ago, yeah, I met you about 10 years ago, maybe just under 10 years ago. When I met you back then, you would have been what, like still in high school, right?
I
Or
was probably a freshman around then. No, probably a sophomore, I think,
okay,
or a senior.
maybe it's uh, I would say, how old are you now? How old are you now?
28.
28. So you were probably 17 or 18.
Okay.
So probably like a senior in high school. But yeah, man, like, but it's just funny because even now, like when we get together, it's just automatic. Like when you're in a room, stuff's gonna go crazy, and at some point throughout the night, you're gonna be on the floor laughing uncontrollably. And I love it, man. Like you said, it's lighting up the dark, but not even in this way where it's like I got to go into this situation and light up it's just who you are. It exudes from your personality. And so yeah, I think it's cool, man, that definitely comes out in your music.
And and like it wasn't I wasn't all before I met you, I wasn't always like that.
Okay.
Because like when I think when I met you is when I kind of officially like gave my life to Christ.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
When I actually like got serious about it.
Yeah.
So I not saying I wasn't a joyful person before I gave my life to Christ. It was I don't know, I wasn't afraid to. I guess like outside of like my family and church, I'll be out here just like trying to thug it out. You feel me? It's like,
Gotcha.
I
yeah.
mean, and I was just out here like put on a facade.
Trying to be a cool kid.
Yeah,
you
pretty
know.
much.
Yeah.
It is just so. I mean, and so I was not finding any satisfaction in like trying to operate two lives. It's like, okay, this is the dude that the cool dude at school, which I still wasn't cool. So like I was doing all that for nothing. And then the other guy at church and around his family is like this happy dude.
Yeah.
It's goofy. Like when he's around his siblings.
Yeah.
It's goofy. Like I want to be that person all the time.
Yeah.
And it was when my brother, my sister, like, cause Sharon went, it was Camp Decision. And she went, 1 year. The next year, Marcus went with her, and then the third year, my mom was like, "So PJ, you wanna go with him this time?" Like, and this is when I was secretly rebellious and all this stuff. I'm not secretly. I was just rebellious. Anyway,
Yeah, I got you.
yeah. So I was just wanting to do my own thing. That's something I'm like. I do not want to spend a summer surrounded by a bunch of happy people. I just don't want to do that. So and then at the time we didn't have the money to even like pay for all three of us to go. So I'm like, oh, you can pay for two people. We can't pay for three. So I guess I just won't. I guess
I'll just bow out,
Yeah, but
thinking about my family,
exactly. So
You got to spin it, man,
so but my mom actually went behind my back and paid for my way to get to the camp. And
Wow.
when I tell you, I'm so glad she did that
Mm.
because I went to this camp just hardened, just like not wanting to receive anything, like not even wanting to like open myself up to hearing the gospel.
Mm.
It was like I was like, I don't want to be here. That was just my whole mindset the whole time. But like seeing how much it changed my brother and sister, like they would come back from these camps like just on fire. I'm like, what are y'all
Wow.
doing? And so like, I mean, I would have been fooling myself and thinking like, or even like begin to like wonder like, what would it be like if I went?
Yeah.
And I was secretly thinking that the whole time. But I was just like, I'm good. I don't want to go. But that whole week, like it was a whole week of just having to listen to the gospel over and over and over again. And eventually, once when you're trapped like that and like you can't go anywhere, it's like
Bro.
You're constantly hearing it every day, and like you start listening to it more and more each day. It's okay. Then the last day, I was like, okay, this is beautiful. Okay, and then but that was the same day that I heard about that the Christian rapper came.
Yeah.
So after I left the camp, pretty much I started doing research on like all these, like who else doing Christian rap, who else is doing. And I found a guy named Andy Mineo. I just got off on this.
No, you're fine, man. Andy Mineo's legit.
Yeah. So I found Andy Mineo because I didn't make the decision to give my life to Christ at the camp because I was still like I don't know hesitant for some reason.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Now you had grown up in the church, right?
Yeah.
And had you given your life to Christ like at any point up to that, like as a kid, or was it that you were sort of walking with the Lord when you were younger and then you kind of walked away, or did it never really become a real part of your life until this point?
It didn't come. Yeah, I was just reciting the words.
Okay.
When I was younger, and not truly like believing it.
Yeah. Okay.
But it was after I heard this song by Andy Mineo called Young. And pretty much the song saying it doesn't matter if I'm young, I'm gonna live for Christ now. I'm not gonna wait until I'm a certain age to like try and serve and live for Christ. Why wait?
Yeah.
So I had that song on repeat for like a whole week, and then it was I forgot where I was. No, I was at college. I think I was still in college. No, it was my first week or so in college. No. I think it was at one of our services. It was at one of our services. Yeah. Because like I was playing at two churches at that time. Yeah. So I get confused. Yeah, but it was that. I believe it was that one of when it was Destiny.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Destiny Center Church.
Destiny RIP. But it was one Sunday when I just had that song on repeat all week, and I was like,
okay.
I'm gonna do it for real. I'm gonna get serious about it.
Yeah.
I gave my life to Christ that Sunday, and like also got serious about doing music the very next freaking day.
That's awesome. And so, okay, I love this because basically like you had somebody that you were able to look up to that was doing what you wanted to do, and at the same time you saw that their life, like even in what they were doing, in the music that they were doing, which you loved, which resonated with you, in terms of what you're passionate about and stuff like that, you were able to see like even in that it didn't have to be separate, right? It didn't have to be separate from God, from a relationship with Jesus Christ. And so I think that this is so cool because something that you really demonstrate is that you don't have to choose, and you don't have to make a distinction. Like, it's okay. Like, you can live your life completely 100% sold out for Jesus and do what you love and be a fun person and have a great time and light up the room and go into dark places where like maybe no one else is following Christ, and you can just be you, and you can show people that, oh, you know what, something's different about this guy, and then people get to know you, and then they find out that like you're different because you have joy that's coming from not the circumstance of the show you just played or whatever, but from the reality of the life that you're living from the inside out. You know what I mean? And so again, like, I think that role models are important. It's so important. I think that helped you ultimately get to that place where you were ready and willing to give your life to Jesus because you saw it demonstrated in somebody that you looked up to, and in a real way, in an authentic way. And yeah, man, is that at all involved like in your motivation for doing what you do and putting out music and content and all that?
Oh, man, I can't tell you. It's been so many moments like that I've had with people that listen to my music, where like one of the most like when I tell you like, okay, let me just say, so pretty much I had a show in where was it? It was in Albany, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was so I don't I never know who's listening to my music. Never know, just never know. So I get here, and we're starting the show, and while we're doing the show, my brother was like, was like, yo, check out this dude right here, front row. Like, it was a kid in the wheelchair reciting every word, like every word. I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa, what is happening here? So we're doing the show, and me and my brother just like, yo, he knows every song. What? And so had a chance to talk to him after the show. Found out he was battling cancer,
Mm.
and just hearing him say how much my music has been helping him,
Come
you
on.
know, in this season, and how like it's just like it makes him smile. Even like, it's just hearing him tell me how much my music has played a huge part in that season of his life. Just, man, it like tore me up. I'm like, oh, this is why I do this. Like, this is why this is the reason why that's the reason. That's why I do this, to like to bring hope to people, to present Jesus to people. Like, and when you present Jesus to people, you are presenting joy to them. It's like you're like it's like that's, and it's been so many other instances like something like that happening, where someone telling me, yo,
Yeah, man.
this song, this album has changed my life. Like someone told me they quit their job that they hated to like go do something they've been wanting to do forever. Now they're doing it, and it was like,
Wow.
because they heard an album.
Wow.
What? Stuff like that blows my mind, and it also reassures me that this is what I've been called to do.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's so good. I want to go back to something you said, because you were like, I never know who's there. I never know who's listening. I never know, you never know who's at the show. And I think that that's so important for anybody that's creating or that wants to start creating, whether you're creating content or you're creating music or you're writing books, whatever it is that you're doing, like, you never know who's going to be listening. You never know who's going to be able to get their hands on that thing that you're creating, and that's going to see it. And that works on different levels. Like, it works on this level of, you were able to impact somebody that you didn't even know at the time. Like there was no way you could have known like your music was going to have that specific of an impact on this specific person, you know. And I'm sure, man, that it wasn't always, and it probably still isn't always, I don't know, like glamorous and just amazing all the time. Like I'm sure that I know that you've worked so hard to get to where you are today, and I know that you've got your eyes set on some things for the future, and I know that you're working so hard, man, and I know that, and going through that, like I know it was a lot of youth events, you know, rapping and doing hip hop. It was a lot of outdoor things with like 8 people. It was just a lot of that kind of stuff, a lot of that grind. But here's the thing. Here's what I'm trying to get to. Took me a while, but here's what I'm getting to. When you're willing to just give your all and serve the people who are in front of you with whatever it is that you're doing, like anytime you can take what you're passionate about, and your thing could be, okay, like your question is, how can I take what I'm passionate about, what I want to do with my life, and how can I use it to actually impact others? I believe that that's what success is all about. It's not about the money. It's not about the fame. It's not about how big you can get and how, you know, gold and triple platinum and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's not about that. It's awesome when that becomes the byproduct of what you're doing. But, you know, when it's about you, like you said, just being obedient and being faithful in what you felt like God was calling you to do, and then using it to impact people. Again, if it's one person, like one young kid who's sitting in a wheelchair in front in a show, you know what I mean? Or if it's, you know, thousands of people in an auditorium somewhere, the point is, like, whoever's in front of you at that moment, serve them the best way that you can.
Come on.
with what's inside of you. You know what I mean? You never know who's listening. Like you never know like who you're going to have an opportunity to impact. And like the other side of it is you never know who's going to be listening. Like when you were basically reaching 5 people, you never know who's going to be listening. Like the uncle of one of those 5 people who actually has resources that he could put behind you and get you to somewhere. But if you belittled those 5 people in the room when you had an opportunity to serve them, you're never going to have that opportunity. Mm-hmm. And so like one of the things I always say is like if you can't dignify the 5 people that are with you now, you don't deserve 5,000, you know? But I think that like watching you like just go through that process of just like doing your craft and getting better, becoming more excellent, and just putting time and energy and like working out on this piece of equipment because it's all that I can afford right now. But then just working the crap out of it until you get to the point where you can, you know, afford the next thing and go to the next level. Like all of that, man. Just your faithfulness through that process. Again, I think it's so inspiring. I talked for a long time, so
no,
sorry about that, but yeah.
Man, yeah. Oh man. Yeah, and it's amazing to see like where you said like when we were doing these outside events, number 5 people show up, or
yeah,
and that was like having those opportunities to even do what we thought was good music back then.
Yeah,
was a blessing because like we had opportunities to share our gifts, but also grow in sharing our gift, you know. So
yeah,
and to go from doing those 5 people shows to doing these huge rooms I do now, it's like, man, like if you truly stay faithful, like God will bless you. And I'm a living testament. This year alone, it's just been blessing after freaking blessing. I'm just like, man, I'm a living testament. If you stay faithful to Christ, man, he's and it's gonna be all right.
yeah, man. Yeah, he knows why he's put that thing, that gifting, that talent, that passion, that dream. He knows why he put it inside of you. He knows where he wants to take you. And so whatever it is, if you'll just trust him through the process, you know, and sometimes that process takes longer than you would like it to take, for sure. But if you'll just trust him through that process and keep walking with him and being willing to take those first steps of obedience and kind of like take that first risk of, you know, like in your case, getting up on stage for the first time, or writing that first composing that first piece of music or whatever, just taking those initial steps to go forward, and then watch as God just begins to use it. And maybe it starts off in your mind on a small level, but if you'll be faithful with the small, I mean, what does the Bible say? That you've been faithful with little, then he'll give you more. He'll give you much, And so just being willing to trust God even in the little things today, so that you can experience so much more in the future, but always just being willing to again, to not be like, you'll always undervalue, or no, you'll always underserve what you undervalue. So if you don't put your best into what you have access to right now, like, for whatever reason, because of whether it's a pride thing or whether it's just like you don't think it's good enough or whatever, then you're gonna underserve. You're not gonna give that thing or those people the best of you. And so I just think keeping that in your mind, keeping the perspective on, okay, what's in front of me right now, what has God showed me, going after it, and just being willing to take those small steps of faith, those small steps of obedience, because you can't see it now, but God sees the whole big picture, and so he knows why he's putting that in front of you right now.
Yeah, I'm always reminded of that that picture. I see. I'm sure a lot of people have seen it, where like someone's holding a teddy bear, a small teddy bear behind their back. And
Yeah.
And like and I just
yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
I love that picture, bro. Because like, it's just such a accurate depiction of like what it means to truly trust in God. I was like, I'm and I can, and just to see now, to see where the doors God's opened for me because I've been faithful. Just like right now, I'm signed to it. Look, this is the label that I wanted to sign to when I first started doing music.
Come on.
And I'm signed to them now. What is happening? It's
so good.
Like God is good, man. It's like, just remain faithful and he bless you.
Yeah, man.
Ah, yeah, man.
So good. Well, do you have like a favorite project that you've worked on, a favorite piece of music? I don't know if that's too difficult to boil it down to one thing, or if it's like, maybe you've got a couple that you could point to, but for anybody who's listening that maybe just wants to check out your music for the first time, and I would definitely encourage anybody, if you haven't had a chance to check out Phil J's music. Yeah, man. Well, let's do that. Tell us. I think, I know I mentioned Spotify and I mentioned your website, but is there anywhere else, like, where do you like to point people to where they could just kind of get a taste of what your music is like?
Yeah, I mean pretty much. Well, it's on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music. Pretty much my music is everywhere you listen to or stream down.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I mean, and I have SoundCloud, but that's for like these freestyles I do every now and then. So, but for all the music that I put a lot of my time into, it's on Spotify, iTunes, and Apple Music, and all that good jazz.
Awesome. So do you have, I don't know, man. I know it's got to be a tough question, but is there something, whether it's like that you had the most fun on, or that means the most to you, or anything like that, like a particular project that has just really meant, a lot to you?
Well, my favorite project right now is the one that's not even out yet.
Okay.
But besides that one, to projects that are already out, New Age Soul 2, which is the most recent one, it's probably one of my favorites because, like, and this is not to say the projects prior to that one weren't good, because I have some favorites on New Age
Sure.
Soul 1, Foreigner,
Yeah.
Diamond in the Rough. Diamond in the Rough is what that album actually kind of changed my life, but I'll get back to that. New Age Soul 2 was pretty much like those albums prior. I felt like I was still like in like putting myself in a mental in a creative prison almost, where like
Okay.
I was still kind of running back to the hip hop stuff, and not truly embracing what I really want to do. And so New Age Soul 2 is special to me because that was like, I'm getting out of this prison. I'm gonna make what I love to make, what I
Awesome.
want to make.
Awesome.
And I mean, and of course, the album didn't do as well as I thought it was gonna do because like it was new to everybody. It's like, he's not rapping, singing though. He's singing the whole thing. Yeah. So, New Age Soul 2, that's probably one of my favorite projects right now. But that's all gonna change with the new album that's coming. And I guess I can kind of tell you when it's coming out. I don't mind. I
Don't
don't
get
mind.
yourself in trouble, but yeah, I mean anything that you could
I mean,
that you could share.
this summer, this I'll just
All
say
right,
summer.
it's dropping this summer. All right.
Yeah, but pretty much I three words. Wow, 3 songs from it are already out. So pretty much Southside, Love Your Neighbor, and the newest single that just came out last week, For My People. So those are 3
Okay.
songs
Awesome.
on the album that's coming out this summer. As far as favorites, as far as a favorite, I'm always gonna run back to the bottom. Like that. That was when that song's special to me because that was the first song I tried to make that was completely out of my comfort zone. And
Okay.
that song would who would I didn't know a celebrity was gonna find the song, share it with all his people, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, man.
Even I dipped my toes in it a little bit. Like, okay, and then like I got something for it. Like, oh, okay, let's. Eventually, I'll get there and create what I want. But
Yeah.
I digress.
So cool. So cool. What would you say? Do you know which out of I don't know if you would have to do this based on album or individual song, but do you know what's had the most exposure at this point? Like, is there a particular thing that you've done that's like it went more viral than anything else?
Diamond in the Rough, that album.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I said I was coming back to it.
Yeah.
But like that album is my highest streamed album. That album is the album that encouraged somebody to quit their job to do what they're passionate about. That album helped people overcome some things in their life. That album was special to me because like I got tons of messages from people that heard it and said it affected their life in a very positive way.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So the moral of the story is, everybody, Phil J wants you to know you should go quit your job right now. Just kidding. Just kidding. That's not the. Just...
I didn't say that. Don't edit this part out.
Phil J will be your best friend if you quit your job.
I don't mind.
He'll talk about you on podcasts. I'm just kidding.
I mean, I would love a bunch of best friends.
Yeah. No, it's good, man. No, it's awesome. Yeah. So let's see. We're kind of we're running out of time. Just got a few minutes here left. What are you? Is there something in particular? I mean, I know you said you have this new project out, so I'm pretty sure that's going to be the answer. But maybe not. Maybe there's other stuff. Is there anything that you're particularly just excited about, like as far as what's on the horizon for you?
Yeah. Well, this will be this project will be the first project I release with my label. So that'll be fun. So I'll actually have a machine behind me, like getting this album to where it needs to get.
Come on.
You know, so and I feel strongly about this album because like it's what I entitled the album Joy. And it's like,
yeah,
okay, let's like I'm just gonna put all of me into an album and see what happens. I've listened to this album over and over again. Yeah, it's definitely encouraged like me in this season of my life. You know, with tragedy striking.
Yeah,
like,
man.
And like not knowing, and because I wrote this album last year, you know, and for those who don't follow me, and someone dear to us, his name was Marcus Baggins. He was my little brother. He passed away in February, and I got a chance to show him this album before he passed.
Yeah.
He told me, yo, this thing gonna change your life, big fella. This thing gonna change your life. And so that's one of the main reasons it means so much to me now because my little brother got a chance to hear it.
Yeah, man.
It was the best thing I ever created. So it's like, hey, I got his final stamp of approval. this thing gonna pop off. So, and not only that, I have a team behind me now. I'm not doing anything by myself anymore. So it's like I believe this album's gonna do what it needs to do. Not and this is more than just music. Like I may make it clear. Like I love making music that makes you feel good, that makes you want to dance. But like I'm here, like I'm here trying to impact your life in such a way
Yeah.
that will not only just bring you joy, but like bring you to the knowledge of who Jesus is.
Come on.
So that's all I do this for. Like if and if the if the fame and the money comes, like I write about all this stuff on the album. Like if fame and money comes my way, I'm like I ain't changing. No, I just like it's a lot of good stuff on this album. I just can't wait for everyone to hear it because it's been encouraging me in this season. I know it's going to encourage anybody else.
So good, man. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. We all miss Marcus so much.
Oh man.
You and Marcus, man. Again, just going back to and Sharon too. The three of you just could light up a room like nothing I've ever seen before. Like for real. And just the amount of joy that comes off of you guys. And shout out to your mom and dad for just instilling those values in you guys as well. It's just so cool. And correct me if I'm wrong. Did on this Stellar Award nomination, did Marcus work with you? Did he collaborate at all on that project?
No. This was something completely different from
Okay.
we were working on. But I still remember the day I sent him the song.
Mhm.
Once I finished it, I sent it to him, and I didn't tell him who it was. I'm like, yo, who's that rapping and who's that singing?
Uh-huh.
He called me, Big Fella, is that playing? Let's go!
So good.
So yeah, like I'm blessed that I was able to share like those milestones while he was.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's why every win I have this thing now where it's like every win is going to be that much sweeter now because my main man, the dude, like probably my biggest cheerleader.
Yeah.
Was like hyping me up to everybody.
Yeah.
And he was there every step of the way. At every show when we first started, to the very last show we did together, he was there every step of the way. So it's like when I actually make it, like when I make it to the winter jams and the festivals, like whatever, like the wins are gonna be that much sweeter because like I got Big Fella like to thank for even like starting this up with me.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. So good. Yeah. Good job, Big Fella. No, but for real, we're saying that because Marcus, that was like one of his favorite. He would say that all the time. Just he's so good at making people feel good, so good at making people feel special and valued. And, he could have a conversation with you and just make you feel like you were the only person in the room, and he could just encourage and support and just brighten up the day like none other. I mean, but again, all of you guys, you and Marcus and your sister Sharon, Sharon and Marcus are twins. You guys all have just that amazing ability to just impact people around you with the joy that's overflowing from inside of you. From really, of course, it stems from God. It stems from Jesus. It stems from the transformation that He's done in your life. And I wanted to mention, you just said something that reminded me of it. The other day I pulled up something. I was sitting here on my computer and my wife was on the other side of the room, and I pulled up one of your mashups on I guess it was on your Facebook page.
Yeah.
So follow Phil J on Facebook at what's the address? Is it at Phil J or is it
it should be Phil J Music.
Phil J Music, okay, on Facebook. Yeah, so you've got some mashups and some things on there that you've, and I pulled one up and I started listening to it, and it only played for about like maybe 10-15 seconds, and I hope this makes you happy. Across the room, my wife was like, "Hey, who is that? Is that the Pentatonics?" I was like, "Oh!" I was like, "I'm definitely bringing that up on the podcast because hopefully Makes your day.
Oh, it does. Oh man,
Yeah, man.
'cause I love the pentatonics.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
I'm just saying that's how good this dude is. If you haven't checked out Phil J, www.philjmusic.com, on Instagram at I am Phil J, on Facebook at Phil J Music. Just Google, not Google, but yeah, just go to Spotify, Apple, iTunes, wherever you listen to music, and just type in Phil J, and he'll come up, and
I'll be there.
yeah, he'll be there. He'll be your best friend. All you got to do is quit your job. I'm just kidding. Sorry. That's not at all what this was about. Yeah. So, yeah.
Quit your job.
Yes.
You
Yep.
didn't get anything from this. Quit your job. I'm just kidding. Yeah, man.
Well, just huge congratulations to you as well, to you and Shayna,
Oh,
for you're expecting.
Got a caramel
So-
coming, baby.
Come on.
Yeah, man. I'm excited to be a dad, man. I really am.
Yeah. So cool. I'm so excited for you guys. You're going to be amazing parents. All of that. Yeah, really excited. Well, thank you again, man. Thanks so much for being here. I hope we could do it again someday. Really appreciate your time. Again, I'm so proud of you and just being able to kind of watch this transformation take place in your life, of, just you putting in the work, putting in the time, most of all, putting Jesus first, pursuing what he has for you, pursuing what you're passionate about, those dreams that he's put on the inside of you. And I'm really excited, man, because I'm just believing that some major things are coming your way in the near future here. So yeah, brother, we're here. Your family is here for you if you need anything from us. And yeah, well, thanks again, brother.
Thank you, bro. Hey, I appreciate you for letting me be a part of this. Man, it was an honor and pleasure.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everybody. If you check this out live or checking it out later, just to let you know, this episode will be uploaded later today on Spotify and Apple and Google and all the major podcast platforms that are out there, along with all past episodes if you want to check any of that out. If you're looking for a way that you could support this new show, you can do that by subscribing, by sharing, by liking, by leaving a review on somewhere like Apple Podcasts if that's where you're checking this out. But anyway, really appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks again to my guest, Phil J. Love you, brother. Talk to you soon.